we don't know. Is it going to be Ecuador? Is it going to be the US? The thing is that so much is said about cost of living in Ecuador and whatever country, 10 countries to live on, this much money. And the thing is that land is actually way more expensive in Ecuador than you can get in the US. Amazing. Hello, welcome to Frank and Angie's channel, where we discuss the retire early lifestyle, whether it's at home or abroad. Thanks for coming to our channel. Hey, we're back in our $300 apartment in Cuenca, Ecuador. And it's not just that we've been abroad for 10 years, but in 10 years, we've never paid more than $300 or $400 for 3 or 4 bedroom houses and apartments, furnished and unfurnished. We said that so many times in other videos, I just thought I'd remind some of the new folks on the channel. So, bombshell shocker here, we've decided to quit. Not right now, but at some future point, quit the retire early travel. So we want to get back to the joy of growing food and being off grid. We've been there before, and we've said before that we used to grow 80% of our own food. We even toyed around with a little bit of off-grid living, even doing things such as, well, I once made my own wood-fired hot water heater. The thing was amazing because it was a 55-gallon metal drum and connected to a shear flow pump. And the thing is that once you lit the fire under it, the water was hot, and it didn't cost anything because I never paid for wood. I always got free wood. So I had all the hot showers I wanted, and it was an amazing experiment. It was an experiment at that time, but looking back on it, I see the wisdom of it. I say so many little bits and videos that are spread out. We have 1,400 videos now. And it reminds me of one time we were walking around on the back streets of Salinas, and we were looking at the buildings, and I was saying things like, and even in Italy too, walking around in Italy and everybody living in these buildings, and how dependent people are because of our background in being homesteaders and living on our own 3.5 acres and growing 80% of our own food, and going abroad, and the travel aspect of it has been a great ride, and it's a blast, and we actually enjoy it. But it's just like, I have a friend that has been in Argentina since last year, and he still has not been able to leave. He still is in lockdown in Argentina, and he thinks he may be able to leave this spring, but who knows. And it's like, he's a really positive person, and he looks at it, when he talks about it, like half glass full. But the point is, going forward, what's this going to look like going forward? I mean, I've talked about in other videos, other issues, that just the way the world is turning and the way things are going. We're not the type of people that put their head in the sand. We're not pretending that things are normal. Things are not, absolutely not normal. It's not normal to be coerced and extorted into doing things to you physically, and it's a big concern going forward. So as much as we've enjoyed the travel, and it's one thing that you've got a lot of people watching these videos that are still working, they're still planning their day of travel, they're still planning their day of retirement. And a lot of people are looking forward, in a year or in 2 years, I'm going to retire, I'm going to come to Ecuador, I'm going to go to Europe, I'm going to do this and that. And so there's that perspective of futurizing and futuristic. But once you've been doing it for 10 years, there's more of an introspective, retrospective view. And so you're looking at it and comparing, you're always comparing what you're presently doing to your previous life. And then you're comparing to what it looks like in the future, and you're also thinking about what you thought it would be like and what it actually is like. And what we have found is that the part about travel I actually enjoy is the change. Like, for example, you could be in one Airbnb and you don't like the mattress, so you go into another Airbnb and you like the mattress better. Or maybe you go into another apartment and it's got an oven, you know, or the kitchen's better, or it's bigger. Just these little changes all the time where, you know, when you're homesteading, you're in the same house. But the advantages to that too, there are advantages to that, because especially when you own property, you can modify your house, and that's a disadvantage when you're traveling and when you're actually living abroad and you're renting, because, you know, a lot of these furnished places, I mean, the mattress isn't what you want. And yeah, we just bought a brand new mattress here. In Italy, the mattresses were ridiculous. You know, I don't know, maybe they were 50 years old, like the apartments. But just saying that when you're renting, you just don't, you can spend money on furniture, but it's not your property. You're going to be leaving. That's a whole other video that I could talk about. But I realized that the experience of travel is that once you've been to a certain number, and it would be a different number for different people, of countries, you start realizing all the similarities of countries. I mean, sure, you see the things that are different and better or worse, or, you know, enchanting and interesting and that kind of thing. But you also see the similarities. You know, every country has, you know, rules of the road and traffic and airports and immigration requirements and everything else that's happening now in the world. So people are people, you know, people are always people, and some people are nicer in different ways and other people are nice in other ways. And so, you know, after you've done this, there's things that are happening in the world that cause us to be retrospective, introspective, and realize that what we really enjoy is being self-sufficient and being in touch with nature. You know, when you look at videos of people that just landed, you know, they just got here a month or two ago, or a few months, or even a year, there's that initial enthusiasm, right? We all have it, you know. And when we first got here, it was like, you know, getting on public transportation was really interesting and enchanting. And now it's like, even though the buses are brand new and they're actually better and quieter, it just doesn't hold that interest anymore. It's like, you know, you're just being around all these people with these masks on and everything, and it's just, you know, it's not the same as having privacy and having space, and, you know, and you're just around people all the time. That, I mean, I love people, I love being around people, but I'm saying after 2020, being around people just doesn't feel the same as it did before. You know what I'm saying? You know, people don't seem to be as happy as they used to be before. They're, you know, they walk by you and you do this like you're going to kill them just walking by them. There's just a certain amount of ignorance in the air that is just a shame. You know, and people are really excited about the lifestyle where they're going out to eat. Like, you see them talking about, oh, we go, that's a big deal, you know, for Americans that have been working all their lives, and this sounds like a vacation, you know, like an eternal vacation or something. But coming from somebody that has been living the retire early lifestyle pretty much all their lives, more of our lives we have spent living the retire early lifestyle than we spent actually living the workaday lifestyle, because we started in our 20s, late 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. So coming from that perspective, we actually enjoy home cooked food more than going out to eat. Where's your plate? It's over there. But I'm not saying there's no good restaurants. I mean, we do enjoy going to good restaurants. It's just not that exciting anymore. So we wanted to rack up experiences. Have we done that? Yeah, we have. And so, you know, we've pocketed the experiences. And that's the thing about experiences, is that you will always have them with you. And that's the amazing thing about it. And that's the great thing about it. And, you know, we did it. And where are we going to be homesteaders? Well, we haven't decided. It could be Ecuador, it could be the US. Here, come over here because it's, you know, you're going to be able to live this great lifestyle and this amount of money. we can live a good lifestyle on a small amount of money because we did it before. And that's another thing, you know, if you have to be in a 24-hour security building, you know, just to live here, I mean, it's just not the same as being able to be out in nature and being able to enjoy nature anytime you walk out your front door on your own private property. We don't know. Is it going to be Ecuador? Is it going to be the U.S.? The thing is that so much is said about cost of living in Ecuador and whatever country, you know, 10 countries to live on, you know, this much money. And the thing is that land is actually way more expensive in Ecuador than you can get in the U.S. Now, I know that that's kind of vague because clearly there are areas in the U.S. that are way more expensive. But if you go to the Midwest, you know, maybe Mid-Atlantic, maybe the South, you can get way better deals on real estate than you can here. I mean, you know, talking about spending $50,000, $60,000 for an acre of land is just ridiculous. In the U.S., you can get a whole house on acreage for that. You can find deals, way better deals on land in the U.S. than you can here. So you would think that because of the GDP, the amount of money on average people bring in the household, that that would be a lot more reasonable. But the problem is, or the challenge is, that these countries are small. They're small countries, and therefore there's pockets of areas that kind of internationalize, and therefore the prices reflect an international demand rather than, and international, it doesn't mean that it's not Ecuadorians. It could be Ecuadorian gringos that are returning from big cities, you know, abroad, and so they bring money with them. So either way, though, it just makes the demand in some of these smaller areas just, you know, ridiculous. So in the States, you've got huge land mass, and you've got lots of areas that just don't have the demand that other areas have, and so you find bargains, you get deals. People say, yeah, but the political situation in the U.S., boy, you know, all these people talking about, oh, I've got to leave the U.S., you know. But the reality is that was actually the way we looked at it when we first left the U.S. too. We looked at it the same way. But things have changed. 2020 has rolled around now, and you know, you're seeing things going on everywhere. You know, we're not going to stand here and make videos and pretend that you know, you can run from this thing, because that's just not the case. Unfortunately, those are the facts and reality that are happening right now in the world. And so we're not looking at, you know, is there a place in the world where we can run away and get away from this thing? I just don't think that's going to happen. However, we do think that lifestyle does matter, and being more self-sufficient and off-grid will give us the kind of lifestyle that would bring more contentment and more joy than being so dependent for every little thing, you know, like your electricity, your food. I mean, every time we need to eat, we have to go out and buy it. And you know, it's just not the same as being able to just go out in your yard and get food, which is something we used to do all the time when we were homesteaders in the States. The satisfaction that comes from being able to be self-sufficient on that level is just underestimated. I just had an amazing plate of homemade Italian gnocchis with pesto Alfredo sauce. I mean, I can't even imagine going in the city here and even finding something like that. And I think they do have a pesto, but it's like 10 or 15 bucks, and they give you like 6 dumplings. My plate was just overflowing with this stuff, and it was $1.50. So, you know, it's just, okay, you know, and then the excitement and adventure of travel. We're not gonna quit traveling. I mean, if we're in the States, you travel wherever you are. We can travel, if we do this in Ecuador, we can travel around Ecuador. But the thing is that the excitement of travel does wear off after you've done it. A thing is more valuable to you when you don't yet have it, right? But once you have it and you can have it anytime you want, it just the value diminishes. Not only that, the travel itself can become somewhat routine. And so what remains out of that is to be abroad and have options abroad for the freedom aspect of it. But as we know, in 2020, even the freedom aspect of it has changed. And therefore, we're looking at a new world going forward. So I hope I've inspired you to think about your world and your plans, and to be diligent about your plans and what your hopes and dreams are. Thanks for watching.